And all right, audio's working. Test. Do you think I should do the unemployed robe look, or is that too dramatic?
You're not wearing the robe.
I know. Now I'm gonna change.
Oh, look how cute.
Do I look good?
You look great.
All right. I don't know where I'm gonna start when I just feel like everyone's gonna be so shocked.
Just speak from your heart, you know?
Hey everyone, Freddie Smith here. So, the title kind of says it all. Chandler and I were released from our contracts. So we will not be filming any more episodes after this week. Well, depending on schedule in the next couple weeks. So I guess I'm just going to kind of share so far, like, what happened, what we know, what's going on. And then Chandler's actually going to be coming over tomorrow. I don't know when this is actually going to be released, but we work tomorrow. After our scenes, he's going to come over, and we're just going to talk about it on the podcast. So we'll get into all the finer details during the podcast, but I just kind of wanted to let everyone know, kind of rip the Band-Aid off, if you will, with this video. And essentially what happened, we came back. So we had that big, 2.5 month or 9 week break. And I was under the impression, I knew this going back, that I was coming back for 6 episodes and that contracts hadn't been signed yet. So I said, well, great. There's a lot of things going on over there. A lot of things are up in the air. And I was like, great, I'm coming back for 6 episodes. We kind of hit people up in the DM on the show, and Chandler and I were trying to figure out, like, were we the only 2 coming back for 6, or were there other people just coming back for 6? And once we kind of got confirmation that other people were coming back for 6 episodes, we go, oh, okay, we're not going to be written off. But as the script started coming in, we started talking more, and I was like, man, this doesn't look good. Like, this doesn't look like we're going to be signed onto a contract, but we're like, there's no way we're going to be let go. And without giving it away, I can't, I obviously can't give away the spoilers. So, do we leave by being killed off, or one of us, or do we just leave town, or are we together, or are we separate? I can't, I can't give you the answer. But what I will say is that our last day is going to be September 18th. 2020 is going to be the last episode that Wilson airs. And so as we were reading these scripts, it didn't look good. The more and more we kept reading toward the 6th episode that we were guaranteed coming back, it was just kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be temporary or what's going to go on. So Chandler and I actually found out, I'm making this video about 8 days after we found out. So I've had time to process. For those of you who have been following this story for all these years, I know that this is probably a huge shock. And believe me, we went through an emotional roller coaster over the past 8 days of really taking everything into consideration. And like I said, we'll dive more into the details of what happened on the podcast and how it all kind of went down.
Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremayne, and that was Freddie Smith delivering the news, the shocking news that Will and Sonny are being written off of the show. He couldn't tell us how they're going to be written off the show, but the last day is Friday, September the 18th. Now, this is another shock to us because we just found out that Rafe isn't coming back. So Rafe is leaving the show, Will is leaving the show, Sonny's leaving the show. That's 3 minority characters that are leaving the shows, Latino and gay. And I hope this is going to be a trend. I'm looking at you, Eli and Lonnie. But yeah, that is shocking news to all of the fans. and I'm gonna be, sad to see them go. I said that I wasn't actually a big fan of them as a couple. I liked Will with Paul, and I liked Sonny with Leo, but as a soap, I love the back and forth and how they eventually come back around to each other. But the last thing I wanted was to see the characters written off of the show. Now, what I'm gonna do is close out the show with Freddie Smith's thoughts on whether or not the show, him and Chandler, will return to Days of Our Lives somewhere in the future, as well as Chandler Macy's tweet about his goodbye to the fans. And look out for Freddie's podcast where him and Chandler are going to give their thoughts together on their dismissal, because he said point blank, we did not want to go. This was a decision from higher up. So thank you for watching. I will see you tonight on Soap Fam Live if you're watching this on Wednesday. Otherwise, I've got plenty of videos for you to watch, and I hope you stick with us. Soap Fam, here's Freddie Smith.
And I have no idea on the upper levels of what's really happening. So I can only imagine that there was a big board of 35 actors, our headshots or something, and they were like, look, we got to cut some people. So who's it going to be? And, it landed on me and Chandler. I would like to say, and for those of you who've been watching the show, you know that whether someone's dead, alive, leaves, no matter what happens, there's ways for people to come back. So is the door closed forever? I don't think so, but just the way that things are feeling, I also don't want to give everyone like a false sense of hope that we are coming back. I'd be super surprised if we don't have at least 6 months off before something may happen. But things could always change. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's just a small little couple weeks or couple months. It really kind of feels almost a little more definite than that.